We're back from the bookstore. So today we're going to be talking about all of the books that are on my winter TBR. This video is going to be broken up into different sections based on different genres. So if you want to like skip ahead to certain genres, like if you're not into one but more into the other, then I have timestamps for you so you can figure out like where to go. The first genre we're going to be talking about is romance, and then the second genre is like fantasy. I can't even talk today. Fantasy / romance. It's like fantasy romance, you know? And then the other genre we have is just like fiction or like YA. I don't know, you tell me later. And then I also have a memoir, and then I also have a self-help book. It said personal growth at Barnes & Noble. I have a little bit of everything. I'm trying to read different genres and just see what's out there and see which one I like. I don't know, I just feel like it's such a fun challenge. Like when I was at Barnes & Noble earlier, I was like honestly having so much fun just like walking around trying to figure out like what book am I gonna like in the fiction section. Does any of these books catch my eye? And like that was like a fun, I don't know why, it was just like my book really is coming out, but like for real, like I was just like looking at all the books and I'm like, why would someone read that one, you know? You find the challenge of like, what book do I feel like I should read in any genre and like why? So that was just interesting. These are the books that I'm gonna be picking from whenever I am reading this season. Winter isn't just December, it's like ongoing, so keep that in mind. We're gonna start with the romance section. The first book that I have is The Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez. I've heard so many great things about Abby Jimenez, like from her novel Yours Truly. I feel like it was a new release or whatever. So many people were raving about it, saying like they loved her writing, they love her, and then they started reading more of her books, or the other way around, like they read this one and then they read Yours Truly, and it just kept getting better. And yeah, I didn't always read romance novels. I haven't read as many as I've read like fantasy novels. So this is kind of a new area for me, I'm not gonna lie. But so many people rave about it. Like so many people are only reading romance. And I'm just like, okay, let me see what's up. You know what I mean? Like, let me see. It says 2 years after losing her fiance. Oh, wait, that's so sad. Sloane Monroe still can't seem to get her life back on track. But one troublemaking pup with a take me home look in his eyes is about to change everything. With her new pet by her side, Sloane finally starts to feel more like herself. That's good. Then, after weeks of unanswered texts, Tucker's owner reaches out. He's a musician on tour in Australia. Okay, that's cute. And bottom line, he wants Tucker back. He wants his dog back. Well, Sloane's not about to give up her dog without a fight, right? Because it's been several, how many did they say? Weeks. Okay, that's a long time, right? So at this point, this is my dog. But what if this Jason guy really loves Tucker? As their flirty text turns into long calls, okay. How did we get there? I'm very curious. Sloane can't deny a connection. Jason is hot and funny and nice. There's no telling what could happen when they meet in person. The question is, with his music career on the rise, how long will Jason really stick around? That's a good question. And is it possible for Sloane to survive another heartbreak? Ooh. And the fact that like they bond over this dog, I'm just so curious as to what's gonna happen with that one. So another book that I'm reading in the romance department, the Dreamland Billionaire series. I was on the fence about this one, but I've also heard great things about this one. This one is called The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. So it says, I'm in the business of creating fairy tales, theme parks. Okay, I love that. Production companies, 5-star hotels. Okay, everything could be all mine if I renovated Dreamland. My initial idea of hiring Zara was good in theory. Ooh, what does that mean? But then I kissed her. No! Things spiral out of control once I texted her using an alias. What do you mean? Like, why would you do? Okay. By the time I realized where I went wrong, it was too late. People like me don't get happy endings. Not when we're we're destined to ruin them. That's really sad. Zara's perspective. After submitting a drunk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride, I should have been fired. Instead, Rowan Kane offered me a dream job. The catch? I had to work for the most difficult boss I'd ever met. Rowan was rude and completely off limits, but my heart didn't care. No way. At least not until I discovered his secret. It was time to teach the billionaire that money couldn't fix everything, especially not us. What does that mean? Whoa, he's mean. She's working with him because she submitted a drunk proposal. That's funny. She falls in love with him even though he's cruel. Let's see what happens. Here I am getting another series, but I've never had like a romance series, I don't think. Like a romance specific genre. Like normally I read fantasy romance, I think, because I think I'm a fantasy girly, but yeah. Anyway, the next book that we have for the romance department is Check-In Mates by Ali Hazelwood. I talked about this book in my last books to read video. I'll link that video below in case you're curious. So I won't talk much about it because it's all there already. I love Ali Hazelwood. I also read her book Love Theoretically, and I also love that book. This one is basically about chess. She used to be like really good at chess, but now she's done it, kind of ruined her family somehow, which that makes me intrigued. Like what happened, you know? Like I'm immediately like, I'm curious, like anyway, so she stopped doing chess, but then she agreed to play in like a charity tournament, and then she won against this like notorious person who always wins. He wanted to like rematch and like go again, basically is what I'm getting. And Mallory, remember, like she walked away from this, so now she's like back in it, and she's like, should I go back into it? But then she goes back into the chess game, and like her competition, the one who she beat, is like fierce and connected and whatever. It's giving romance, like we're enemies but lovers type of thing. And like it just seems interesting because like chess, you know, I don't play chess, so that's how that goes. And but I'm curious. I've watched The Gambit on Netflix, and that's a really good show. That's when I literally was like, I want to learn how to play chess, but then I tried. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. So let's move on to fantasy. Now, this book is the second book of a series that a lot of people may know. This is like a fantasy romance, I believe. That's what it's giving from what people have been telling me and what I am reading so far. It is A Court of Mist and Fury. Definitely fantasy vibes, but is it a romance? So far, I started reading this book like 2 days ago, and it's just giving all kinds of spice and romance. So I'm just like, this can't not be a romance novel. You know what I mean? Because there's just so much of it. And if you know anything about series, you can't really talk about the second one because it will spoil the first one. So if you're interested in like what I think about the first book in this series, I have a whole 24-hour reading vlog of me reading that one. I was not a huge fan of the first novel, but then all of you guys, a lot of you convinced me to read the second book. Like, just read it, and I'm not even gonna lie, I really like it so far. I can't speak too much about it, but you will hear about it. Anyway, let's move on. We're still in the fantasy part. Now, guys, I feel like I talk about this book, Legendary by Stephanie Garber, every TBR. Somehow I always end up picking it on my blindly choosing. I always want to read it. I just haven't read it yet. This is the season. This is the season. It's still giving cozy vibes. Remember, this is the second book of a trilogy, so I can't really talk much about it, but I'll give you a quick, like, what it's about. So basically, Legendary is about these sisters, Scarlett and Tella, and the first book is basically about how they get invited to go to Carnival, where it's like a game where the audience members participate, and whoever wins gets this like prize at the end. Scarlett has this dream of going to Carnival. She ends up getting a ticket to go. You gotta read the book to find out why and how and all that. Her and her sister go to Carnival. When they go, Tella, the sister, gets kidnapped, and she became part of the game. The goal/mission of the game for everybody, the audience and herself, Scarlett, was to find the sister. So it's just like, who's gonna find her? And then they only have 5 nights to do this, and then it's like, well, what happens after that? It's really good, which is why I keep wanting to read the second book, because the way the first book ended, I was like, yeah. The other book that I have in the fantasy romance is Powerless. I love the synopsis. It is giving like everything like cozy, mysterious, whimsical. So let's talk about Powerless. It says, the elites have possessed powers for decades, gifted to them by the plague, while those born ordinary are just that. Banished from the kingdom of Ilia and shunned from society. Dang, they're shunned from society. That is so intense. No one knows this better than Payton, an ordinary posing as a psychic to blend in with the elite. Okay, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? But when she unwittingly saves one of Ilya's princes, Kai Azar, she's thrown into the Persian trials, a brutal competition showcasing the elite's powers. But she doesn't have any powers. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will if he discovers what Peyton is. Completely ordinary. Which is so funny. I don't even know why. But like, it just seemed like a really good read. Am I right? I can't wait to read that one too. Like, it's just giving like everything. Yeah. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the first book of a series, and I have heard nothing but great things about this book. I've been having it for a while. I just cannot wait to read it. It's so crazy. Let me tell you what it's about. It says Avery Grams has a plan for a better future, surviving high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch? Avery must move into his sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is also occupied by the family that was just disinherited. Talk about drama. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous, magnetic boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they would inherit billions. Imagine Grayson is convinced that Avery is a con woman and he's determined to take her down. But his brother, Jameson, views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in a world of wealth and privilege, literally, with danger around every corner, Avery would have to play the game herself just to survive. I love that it's about like secret passages and riddles and billions. It's giving The Lock House, you know, that show on Netflix. If you know, leave a comment below. And now I have a memoir as well. I talked about this in my other video. It's the Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. And I purchased this recently, so it's on my list of books to read. Britney is telling her story. Back in June in 2021, the whole world was listening as Britney Spears spoke in open court. The impact of sharing her voice, her truth, was undeniable, and it changed the course of her life and the lives of countless others. The Woman in Me reveals for the first time her incredible journey and the strength at the core of one of the greatest performers in pop music history. Spears' groundbreaking memoir illuminates the enduring power of music and love and the importance of a woman telling her own story on her own terms at last. She's like, it's time for me to stand up. Like, it's time for me to tell my story on my own terms. This is me, the woman in me. And this power pose. Yes. Now, this portion of the video, we have our self-help book of the season. Before I got back into reading fantasy and romance novels, I was reading a lot of like self-improvement books. And so I have a lot of self-improvement books. Anyway, the book that we're going to be reading this season is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Girl, I don't even know. Byrne. Rhonda Byrne. I'm gonna call you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just call you Rhonda. It says, you hold in your hands a great secret. It says it has been passed down through ages, highly coveted, hidden, lost, stolen, and bought for vast sums of money. This centuries-old secret has been understood by some of the most prominent people in history: Plato, Galileo, Beethoven, Edison, Carnegie, Einstein, along with other inventors, theologians, scientists, and great thinkers. Now the secret is being revealed to the world. Okay. As you learn the secret, you will come to know how you can have, be, or do anything you want. You will come to know who you really are. You will come to know the true magnificence that awaits you in life. What is the secret that we must know? It says, in this book, you'll learn how to use the secret in every aspect of your life: money, health, relationships, happiness, and in every interaction you have in the world. You'll begin to understand the hidden, untapped power that's within you, and this revelation can bring you to every aspect of your life. The secret contains wisdom from modern day teachers, men and women who have used it to achieve health, wealth, and happiness. By applying the knowledge of the secret, they bring to light compelling stories of eradicating disease, acquiring massive wealth, overcoming obstacles, and achieving what many will regard as as impossible. Whoa. I was flipping through this book at Barnes and I just like love the what's it called, the illustrations in the book. Like, this is really nice, you know, it's really unique, very different, and it explains like who these people are with these thoughts and like what the thoughts are, and I just love that. It says, what is the secret? I'll let you know how this goes at the end of the month, so subscribe if you're interested. If you've read any of those books, leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. If you plan to read any of these books, leave a comment below so we can be reading buddies, because that would be really cool. If you are interested in my thoughts on any of these books, then be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the wrap up at the end of the month. Also subscribe if you want to see some reading vlogs of me reading these books, because those are so much fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video next week. Bye guys.